because of the way this bottom edge sticks out. Actually, straightest edge, that would be the straight edge, so I do not want to do 180 degrees. I want to go that way, approximately 295. Sounds good. Set A 295 back. And there we go. And so I'm only really hitting weeds on this side of the device at the moment. As we get further away from this edge, we'll get more of them. But I set here so that we wouldn't end up with weeds past the edge of the weeder. I hope I'm going to end up with weeds past the edge of the weeder. Yeah, see, there's a patch right there. And a few more. I'm going to bring up the map window and let's see how that worked out. So yeah, a couple of little patches there. I'll come back, do those, and then we can just line up and tear through this field. And I'll still use GPS guidance to think, I think we can eyeball this. How's my tea? A little on the cold side. Okay, we got all that. And this sadly is the problem with doing single crop types, is you end up doing lots of the same job in rapid succession in multiple fields, and it's not like our fields are very small. I mean, they're not giant. It's not like we're harvesting the Great Plains of the United States at all, but still, we're 7 miles an hour and 12 meters wide on fields that are a few acres big, and then we've got 3 of them. So we've already seen there's no real quick way of doing this because the workers aren't exactly the best. We do get a lot of weeds though. I mean, I'm looking, when we had Farming Sim 19, I think it was Seasons, Realismus' Seasons on Farm Sim 19, they gave us patches of weeds rather than complete field weed coverage. Giants always gave us 100% complete weed coverage. And the workers didn't have a problem with that because they, oh, there's weeds in front of me, I just keep going until I run out of weeds or hit the edge of the field. When you try to do a Giants worker on a while playing with Seasons mod, the workers didn't work with weeds because the field wasn't 100% covered, and so the worker would say, okay, I can see a weed, I can see a weed, I can see a weed, and then it would get to a gap and it's like, oh, there are no weeds, I'm done. So you had to do all of the weeding manually or use herbicide. And I don't think in Farm Sim 19 there was an issue with herbicide usage. Not like now where it kills your crop if you do it. Or it damages the crop so you get a lower yield. But now, Giant Seasons weeds are patchy, so you don't get 100% weed coverage, but you do get a lot of weeds. But the workers are generally observant enough to say, yeah, there's weeds on this field in many places, I'll just keep going. Or Giants have made sure that in spite of the fact they've given us patchy weeds, there are enough continuous clusters of weeds that the worker just says, yeah, no matter what, as I drive across this field, I'm touching at least one weed, so I'm not done with my job. That's probably how they did it. Anyway, how are we doing? We're about halfway, I guess, since we're driving through the numbers now. And then we have that field over that way behind us to do, and then they're all done. And I will check I'll try and remember to check the environmental score before we start the next one. And I'm not kidding, I think as soon as I lower the weeding attachment onto the field, I get the weeded update score. Come on. So yeah, 1, 2. Of course, I can't tell from we're on row -5. I don't know how many rows there are on this field. If you row from left to right, no, it depends which direction you're heading in. But we set the GPS point on that side of the field, so that was row 0, and obviously heading this way across the field is negative rows. If we'd started up on this edge, then we'd be running positive rows at -5, and that's that number there. So as soon as I turn around, that'll drop to -6. And that's one of the ways you can use GPS as a guidance. If you're doing alternate rows, then maybe I want to do even rows heading north and then odd rows heading south. And I might do that with something like a baler, or the tractor with a 6-meter seeder. I can't get it to turn around in single row, so I do alternate rows and then fill in the gaps coming back the other way. Anyway, it is now coming up to 5 o'clock. As I said, I think probably 6 or 7 o'clock is when the fermenter clock will finish for the grass. I'll grab at least 1 truckload, sell that, so that we've got, I think we get about 12,000 from a full load. Winter will get 12,000. Right about now, maybe 11, 10, because the price or the value of the commodities coming down. Right. Cruise control on. Let's go back to this panel here, and we're still only at 9%. Potentially, as I said, as soon as I drive out onto this field, actually it looks like we did some weeding on there, but potentially we might take that up 1 notch, which will be good. I'll change the GPS angle on that field too. Okay. But that field there is looking pretty good for weeds. This field not so much. What's that bottom row? Tillage, yeah. To fix the tillage, I would have to rip that up and direct drill it. Could do that over winter, so as soon as we've done the last cut, I could lime that field, plough it or cultivate it and reseed it with grass. I could roll it and mulch it and roll it as well and get all of the bonuses from all of the tasks. Okay, that's getting a little bit difficult. Because of the angle at this point of the field, we can't get to the start of where the weeds start there. But there's not enough room between there and the hedge to get the row started. So I'm going to be starting a little bit off the track and allowing GPS to guide me onto the line. Anyway, how are we doing? 10 o'clock in the morning. We have been streaming. Oh, good. We have excellent conditions on the stream, and I've been streaming for 1 hour 42 minutes. I keep forgetting there's that little clock on the Twitch monitor. And looking at the viewership this morning, it does appear that a lot of people are sleeping. Outside temperature is 28 degrees. I don't know. 28 degrees and cloudy is what the weather man says, so it might not be too bad today. It'd be nice if it gets over 32. Because then the frost goes away. Okay. That's that one done. And I got a ding. That will be Facebook, probably. Probably my mother. Excuse me while I have a look. Yes. That's my mother. Oh, and that's my mother sending a message to Mrs. Osa too. She does that. And that's the thing with devices always online. I'm always Facebook active. Even when I'm not here. Okay, lift that, fold that. So, final field. I think what I'm going to do for this field is set myself up at the front edge. So right here, fold the thing. This should be 90 pretty much straight across. Yes, it is. Get it set up so we've got about one row of weed pickers outside of the field bounds. And we'll go and look at weed coverage. Again, missed a patch there, missed some there. Grand scheme of things, I'm not too worried. This field got mulched. I completely forgot about mulching the other two. So it is what it is. I need to set a 90 back, lower it. Work management. What's it called? GPS on. Ooh, I have just hit the edge of the field with that one. Doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to do this row going this way. I will then do the end row, and then I'll work the multiple bends at that end, and I'll run a double headland and run back down that side again. And then I can just do rows across the middle, starting from that bottom or top left corner from where we are. That will be good, and it will put us either right by the exit or over here. And if it puts us over here, well, I've got a long way to travel because I've got to travel all the way back down there and then all the way back again to get to the farm, which is just there. I do wonder if it's worth hacking down a couple of pieces of hedge there so we can get into this field from that corner. I'll probably do that in a bunch of fields on this map. Give myself a few more entrances to the field so I'm not having to make the crazy 180-degree turn with the big equipment every time I want to get into a field. It needs to be good enough. Come on, back up. It needs to be good enough for the predominant direction I'm going to be entering the field from, which for the most part is going to be nearest to the yard. Squirrels are having a lot of fun. Dudes, it's still the middle of winter. I know you haven't seen any snow, but it's not like the snow's all been and gone. It's supposed to snow the end of next week, or beginning of next week, I think. Last time I checked. Although the weather has been decidedly what's the word for it? Imprecise lately. Okay, so we're going to head along this edge. We'll do 2 headlands at the other end, and then we'll come back. Whoops. Missed a little weed right there. Okay, go. And it's gone. So, gonna hit round here, head all the way up to the entrance, and then come back along this track. Because ideally you want to work your way across the field so that the last thing you do is as close to the field entrance as you can. I don't want to end up in this bottom left or northeast corner of the field and have to drive the entire width of the field in order to exit. That's cutting it a little close. Now, I might own these trees now. Just thinking. Because we own the fields on both sides of that hedge. So, in theory, those trees should be somewhat close to belonging to us. Oh, now that's interesting. So the main body of the field is actually has an equal number of rows wide. We're on +6 at the moment because I set it at the southerly most border of the field. Takes all the guesswork into I wonder how many rows I've got left to do. Obviously, as I transition each of the rows, the row count number drops. Yeah. Oops. So, 2 headlands at this end. And the reason I'm doing this end twice is because for a sizable number of rows we're going to be running that diagonal, which is just going to be an issue. Okay. Oh, I didn't check. Has the score improved? No, that's still firmly on 90. That one's on 92 for some reason. And yeah, we're not going to make it over 9%, so it is what it is. Of course, next thing I'm going to want to check is where's the best place to sell grass silage. Oh, we actually sold the local deer yesterday afternoon. They were certainly in a hurry to get places. Okay, I have to come back to this point. To finish that row off. Way to the end, so I'm a little bit off that row as well. I'll start at row offset number 11. I think that will get everything in this area. Probably check when we hit the end of the row so that we make sure we've got it all before we head across. I'm going this way on row 11. That's nice. I'll be going this way on row 1 as well. Okay, back to there. I have not missed anything in that corner, so this is pretty much a straight and go. That turn's not easy. So, go. Even numbered rows to the east. Money, dang. I'm out of tea and I've emptied my glass of Mountain Dew as well. And the sun is setting. Well, somewhat. I mean, it's 5:49 game time, and sun's probably not going to be completely set until about 10 o'clock. So I wanted to check crop prices of grass silage. It's nearly bottom price, but 62 at the exports is the best price. That will be, oops-a-daisy. That will be the place that is just down the hill on that side of the road. As I said, we'll try and get maybe 2 or 3 truckloads of grass silage down there, so that this number here is a lot more healthy than it is right now. Okay, that